So I was really hoping the video you'd be watching right now would be us doing all the fabrication on the right side rocker and bringing you up to speed to having that done. But unfortunately, it's not done yet. We've had a lot of distractions in these last few weeks since the last video on this car. From breakdowns, lawnmower, stuff like that, to going to a lot of shows. We've been to the Goodguys Columbus, and yes, we put that video up here, and if you saw that video and you was disappointed with it, well, we were too. Actually, I almost didn't even post it. We had a bunch of technical difficulties and we were not happy with it and salvaged it the best we could, but we were not happy with it. The next week, we went to the Arthritis Foundation show. Now, it hasn't gotten nearly the views because not a lot of people know about that show. But I ask you that if you were unhappy with the first one, go back and watch the Arthritis Foundation show, because we did not have the technical difficulties and we kind of tried some new stuff and we think we did a much better job, and we really want some feedback on how well you like that video and that style of covering shows. We also went to another show this last weekend, which will be on our other channel, and we also, fair season. Fair season started in Ohio, so we went to the Knox County Fair, which is why we got all of these shorts we just put up recently on the rough truck competition, and we still have more to put up yet. And this week, the Hartford Fair starts, or has started already. We'll be going to that twice, once for the autocross and once for the rough truck. And we still haven't decided yet whether we're going to do full videos on those or just shorts. So kind of depends on the weather and if we can, how good of a vantage point we can get to take video. Because it's really hard to get in that place if you don't get there early, and we're going to be really tight on time getting there this year. So we'll see what happens. So we have been making progress on this car, and we're going to show you right now where we're at on it. I was really hoping to have one video for this whole side of the car, since we did so many videos on that side and was so more detailed about it. We just want to do an overview on this. And I haven't been taking nearly as much footage, but we do have the sill here pretty much done. This side didn't fit nearly as well as that side with the same dimensions, and something warped on me when we started welding on it, and it was a bit of a mess that I had to work through, and we got it now. So we need to finish up that, and I can start the outer rocker, and that'll all be coming to you here pretty soon, as soon as we get all that done. Now, for a lot of you know that we do have a second channel, and that's all British cars, because I have been basically the local British car mechanic for like 20 years, and I've been running a shop working mostly on British cars. But this channel is not supposed to be British cars. But yes, this one is a British car. But the reason it's on this channel is because it's a rat rod. It's only pseudo-British. Everything underneath of it is Chevy. So we thought as a rat rod, it's really suitable for this one. And actually, I was going to originally do a 53 Chevy for my first project, but that fell through. So we got this instead. So you will see some pseudo-British stuff on here in addition to everything else we do. But if you like to see more British stuff, yeah, we don't mind bringing a little bit on here. But our British channel is actually called Union Jack Classics if you're more interested in the British stuff and don't already know about it. Now, there is another project in the shop here that is my personal car that is also a pseudo-British car. I'll go take a peek at it right now and we'll show you what it is. So unfortunately, this thing's just kind of shoved to the side and things get stacked around it. But this is my 71 MGB GT, which is the same year I was born, actually. Now, this thing has been really highly modified. A lot of cutting and a lot of thinking's gone into this car, because I actually made it a little bit wider and a little bit longer than the stock while trying to keep it looking like it isn't. But it's got an LS1 with a T56 and all BMW suspensions going underneath of it. And when it's done, it's going to be wide tires, flares, full cage, and hopefully under 2,500 pounds.
How much time have you got in it already?
Oh, at least 650 hours. And way more than that left to go probably. Now I've been working myself, trying to get myself into a point where I can afford to spend the time on this thing that it needs to finish it. Because, hey, we still got to live. YouTube absolutely does not pay the bills. Actually, this channel, I don't even make a dime off this channel unless you're buying stuff in the Amazon links, because we don't have enough subscribers yet to get monetized on YouTube. So while my other channel is actually monetized, it's a smaller audience and we don't make that much money on it. This channel isn't even monetized yet. We need a few more hundred subscribers to get there. Hopefully we can pick up some momentum and we get monetized, and I can actually start making enough money to be able to afford to actually start working on my projects. But in the meantime, this is still a full working shop because I got to pay the bills somehow. And we thought, I'll show you around the shop, show you what we're working on right now, because that's also a lot of the reason why the Madnette isn't any further along than what it currently is. Now, this is the oldest one we currently have in the shop, but you want to stick around for the last car, because it's probably the nicest and most interesting one to, say, non-British car guys. This is a 1954 MG TF. The car had been sitting for about 10 years before the current owner purchased it. So naturally we're going through all the brakes and everything, trying to get it all ready to go on the road. And then it wasn't charging. And I knew I was going to have to work on the carbs, but I was trying to put it off until I adjusted all that. But then it started just puking fuel all over the garage floor. So now I got the carbs off, we're working on them. And here pretty soon we should have this up and running, waiting on parts right now. And we can get this thing out of here and start moving on to some of these other cars. What we got back here, this is a 1974 and a half MGB GT. Now for those of you on the channel who aren't familiar with the British cars, yes, the 74 and a half is its own thing. They changed these bumpers to the big rubber bumpers in 74 and a half for the half model year, and then discontinued the GT out of the American market in 75. So these were really only built for the American market for a half year. So this car is a long-term restoration project for the owner. He's had all the body work done to it and somebody's painted it for him, and he had the cars rebuilt and done some other work to it, and then he couldn't get it running right. So he wanted me to get it running right for him and take care of a laundry list of small problems all over it, including the brakes, which leaked all their fluid out during the process. And then I get them one step closer to having this one on the road. The next one we have here is actually an interesting story to the car, but the guy bought this thing recently off the son of the original owner. His mom got it to go to college in, and then after college she ended up buying herself a new Mustang, and it mostly just sat in the barn for the next 30 years. This thing's got 19,000 miles on it. But at some point, she had taken it out of the barn, had it gone through and put it back on the road, and drove it up until 2019. And when she evidently couldn't drive anymore, and it got passed down to her son, and he just didn't want it. So he sold it to the guy who currently has it. As of now, we know the clutch doesn't work, but beyond that, until I get into it, we don't know what we're doing to it. Now this car had been kind of in the corner of the shop here, is me finishing a restoration on a 53 MG TD for a guy. And unfortunately this car was actually a really low mileage car, really good condition, that didn't need much to make an easy restoration out of it. But he took it to the wrong people. And every hand that worked on it has made more of a mess than anything else. And now I'm trying to sort it out. And everything I touch is going backwards and taking things apart rather than making any progress on it, just to make the car halfway right. So hopefully soon I'll start making some actual progress on this thing and start getting it closer and closer to being done rather than tearing it further and further apart. But the next car here, this is a 1970 Spitfire, but it's not just a Spitfire. This is actually a blend of two cars, a Spitfire and a GT6. It's what they call a Spit 6. So it's a Triumph GT6 chassis, driveline, and nose, but with the body tub of the Spitfire. So you got the open roadster, a little less weight than a GT6. And this was built by a guy in California who had both British and American cars and kind of built it street rod style. So there's a lot of custom touches, a lot of little bracketry and stuff to make all the lines run really nice and straight and smooth and clean, all the way down the length of the chassis and everything. And this did have a pretty hot engine in it at one time when it was in California, bored, big compression, big cam, the whole works, and of course the triple carb conversion. But he could never find anybody that could actually tune it properly on that wonderful California fuel. So he ended up having it rebuilt again to standard bore with new sleeves and everything to try to get it down to where they could actually tune it, and they still had problems tuning it until he eventually sold it to the guy who now owns it. But the car was never sorted out after restoration. We'd done all of that sorting like a year ago and got it running a whole lot better, because one of the big mistakes people make, especially it seems on the Stromberg carburetors, is they don't put any oil in the dash pots and they don't run for crap if you don't have oil in them, because they don't have accelerator pumps. The oil stops the piston from going up, making it act like an accelerator pump. Otherwise, you snap the throttle open, it goes lean. But we got that sorted out. He's been driving it for like a year, and the other day, it just quit on him. Backfired and died. Apparently, the distributor had started seizing up. I can barely move that thing. So we're waiting on parts for this. So yeah, we got busy here recently.